It's been traditional field sales. Just with the sales model they have, it's never needed to be digital, and now everything's moving that way. And obviously everything's moving digital.
Welcome to the B2B e-commerce show. I have the pleasure of stepping in for Justin to share a conversation that I recently had with Jennifer Waters, who does B2B e-commerce for industrial distribution at 3M. And this is maybe my favorite part of the work I get to do in the B2B e-commerce association, which is to sit down and talk to women working in B2B e-commerce. There aren't a lot of women in this field, but each of them have crafted a career and a role and a path of learning that has really made sense for them. And I love hearing these stories. So for this conversation, Jen has had a really interesting trajectory of moving within 3M for about a decade in various roles and landing in this industrial distribution e-commerce role. She talks about a new AI tool that 3M is rolling out. It has all of the complexity that 3M products have. It solves customer service problems and opens up new ways for product discovery and merchandising. I think you'll get a lot from this conversation, and I'm curious to hear what you think.
All right. Well, thanks for joining. I'm excited to jump into things.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We got to meet in Scottsdale last year at the B2B e-commerce world. So we had a women in B2B dinner the night before, and it was good to see you.
That was such a fun event. They did such a great job with that event, and it was fun to be there and meet everybody in person. We've been with the organization for a little while, but that was fun to finally be there, and it was almost like a celebration, I felt like, so it was cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to talk to you about 3M, about your role in 3M. You've had an interesting career path there. But as we started talking, you mentioned Ask 3M, and we're hearing so much from people who are thinking about AI, reading about AI, panicking about it, but aren't seeing like practical applications yet. So can you talk a little bit about what 3M is doing?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It was just released to the public. I think it's been in the works for a while now, but we are very excited about it. It's coming soon. It's in testing still in pilot, but it is basically a AI-powered digital assistant that will be released to in various ways, various platforms. But right now the purpose is for engineers and users of a lot of our products to find solutions for business needs, design challenges using 3M products. So right now it's primarily for our large portfolio of adhesives and tapes, but the purpose is for basically you can enter into it any question you have for a solution you may need. I want to bond metal to a certain type of wood. What in this temperature with this humidity? You can enter that in, and it might give you a few different solutions to consider with adhesives versus tapes, which might be better. And then it'll suggest some 3M products. It probably will give you some education on each of them, and then basically introducing people to more of our products in a solution-based way versus just trying to point you in the direction. So it's really interesting. It's going to give people like more speed to introduce our products, more education. It's currently in pilot to engineers who are trying to solve bonding design challenges, but then it'll be more widely released to a lot of our partners in the channel, but then probably end users and those that are currently selling our products to give them some solutions and be able to sell our products easier as well, to provide that education in an online platform where people may not have that education readily available.
So who was answering that question before?
That's a good question. Probably in the traditional sales model. I mean, in person, your local sales rep that you call in the region could be the person that's at the business that you're buying the products from. They'll have their own sales contacts as well. So it's a lot of education for us to provide to them on our products, on those solutions. A lot of training and demos go into that. But this will be a more technical digital service that instant AI powered. So all of our knowledge and in-house resources that we have, we can just deliver all of that solution instantly through an online platform. Everything's moving digital now, so it'll be at your fingertips now, and that'll be really cool to be able to see how it gets used and what more we can do with it.
Yeah,
Somebody have to contact somebody in person.
I'm sure there'll be so much learning from how it's adopted and the questions people are asking.
Yeah, they presented it at the Consumer Electronics Show, and it was very widely received well, and I think it'll do really well, and gotten a lot of great feedback from what I hear so far as well on other ways that we could use it as far as product availability and shipping speed, things like that too. So I think they're just being in testing, you get a lot of great feedback, so it'll be exciting to see what more they do with it once it is available.
Yeah, it's a really sophisticated solution to what I'm sure is a huge customer service problem, because the amount of knowledge and understanding you need to have of 3M products, as well as sort of all of the products and materials out there, is just beyond. I mean, from an outsider perspective, having that knowledge in my head seems completely daunting. And I'm sure there are people who have it in their head, but
I'm sure for me too. I mean, I haven't been in the industrial business for that long. It's about 7 months now. So for me to have to learn all of that has been hard. It's so interesting to me, but for someone to learn that entire portfolio would be a challenge. But then for someone to be able to learn everything that we have to find a solution on their own would be a large challenge. So having this type of service available versus having to call or find someone in the field, especially this younger generation that's coming up, they're going to go to their phone or their computer first anyway. So this will be exciting to see how many use it right away and how it's received.
Yeah. So that's on the 3M level. From in your job, your work life, how are you using AI tools?
We have an internal AI solution as well. So I'm sure most companies do now, but we had built that a couple of years ago. So it's pretty exciting. It's mostly for internal use as far as resources internally, finding product information, internal other resources that we may need, and for within company information, but then also productivity. So you can load in spreadsheets, you can load in imagery, load in data, summarize this for me, give me some notes. We have AI built into our meeting systems to provide, a summary of notes after a meeting versus just a transcript. And I've played with it. I'm using it daily now and played with it in the beginning, and it was cool to see what it can do. And then learning how to feed it with the prompts, I think, is the hardest thing to learn. But then the more you try and practice, it becomes easier. And then I used it the other day to help me create a PowerPoint. That's something I'm trying to get better at. I've not been great at it, and I don't enjoy it. So trying to get that to help me create a better visual of what I'm trying to present has been super helpful. And so being able to plug in what I want to say in the way I just want to say it, frankly, and then have it spit out something in a nice, pretty visual way that's been cool to see. And then just try to clean it up a little bit afterwards, or continue to feed it more prompts until it looks great to present to the right audience, depending on what I'm needing it for.
I feel like that presentation piece most recently is the piece of AI that feels like it's dramatically going to change like the time I've spent so many sad hours in like PowerPoint presentations, and that now you can just feed. Yeah, I just read like a document and then raw data, and it found the story, and it was like a nice 10-minute 10-slide presentation that followed like a normal path of a presentation and had really nice clean charts and data that were accurate and good. And that feels so different than 5 years ago.
Right, exactly. And trying to lay out a process map, that I found that super helpful. We're trying to explain, especially in e-commerce, a lot of it is educating internally what our current process is and how it needs to be more efficient, and how they are involved in that process. And so where that comes in, to be able to explain it better, a lot of people are visual. So being able to write out the steps, the very long process of how something is currently happening. It goes to this team, and then it goes to this team, and how we need all of this in a system, and it doesn't live there currently. And, trying to just get some of our internal processes to be more efficient and be more digitally savvy, and then trying to put that into a process visual map where we can explain it better to a larger audience, different audiences, showing them how they're involved, where they're involved in the process. That's been helpful too, being able to just know what your process is, type it out, but then put it in there and show it to me in a larger process map. But then, you have to usually kind of make it look a little better afterwards. So far from what I've found, at least with our tool, I think still learning the prompts that you have to continue to feed it. Now make it look like this. Now provide it with this. Now this here. And so that's been kind of fun just to play with it, continuously feeding. I think with any of the AI tools, you do that until it looks just the way you want it to. But it's been fun and definitely faster than doing it manually in PowerPoint.
Yeah. And it's the changing of the work from the building in PowerPoint to the thinking, to the sort of data gathering and the thinking of what you're going for, and then the editing at the end of it, which is a really different way of working.
Right. And
for me.
For sure. And then simplifying it into words and phrases that another team can understand, where for me, coming from a digital role, speaking digital, speaking e-commerce, speaking technology, they don't always understand that, where systems, the names of systems and the processes in the digital sense, you sometimes have to explain that differently. So then the AI can totally help with that, as far as just putting it in layman's terms for a different team. Put it from this perspective, or now say it from this type of role, and add, tell me it as if I was in the role of a content leader or something like that. So that's very interesting to see what it can do.
It does kind of require more empathy on the part of us, the humans, feeding in information, to think through of who the end reader will be and how they can actually deal with the information shared.
Yes. And that's true, because then when I plug stuff into that, it's been helpful where I don't necessarily want whatever it's giving me. I like that. And then I can continuously feed, the prompts to make it closer to what I ideally want. But then I still love to bounce whatever it provided me, a process map, a visual, bullet points, summary of notes, something like that, off of somebody else to make sure that it makes sense to them, because it may make sense to me, but I also am going to be presenting it. And I want to make sure that it translates to another group, because I may have fed it the way I understand it, but then I also want it to, produce the results that someone else will understand. So it needs to, in a lot of different ways, and you need to make sure of that. So being able to get feedback afterwards, and then maybe give it more prompts afterwards based on that feedback, is still important, I think, especially if it's going to be presented to a team or within a meeting later.
So this is your role today. Can you talk a little bit, which you said it's fairly recent. Can you talk about your history with 3M and where you started and how you ended up where you are now?
So my background is not necessarily in business. I kind of fell into it, but I couldn't be more happy to be where I am now, and thankful that I stumbled into it. I originally wanted to go into nonprofit in college, and I suppose that could be related to business, but then started out in 3M in customer service, and 3M is so great at promoting within and helping you explore and expand your career and learn continuously. So that brought me over to working with Amazon, one of our largest accounts at 3M. And then as I was on the Amazon account working for our consumer business, so obviously 3M's known for Post-it, Scotch brands, Command. Working on those brands was fun and enjoyable. And then I learned a lot about how everything is intertwined within 3M, how a product makes it from being produced to being on a shelf in a store. That whole process end to end was just fascinating. And then learning about all the products we make on top of that. But then within Amazon, moving from the consumer side, but then also working with Amazon Business, that was fascinating to me as well, and how the mix between consumer and business within one account can be different, and how you treat them almost as separate accounts within how you approach them, from sales to marketing. Very different in how you have to almost shift the way you are approaching them differently. There's different people involved, different teams involved. A lot of times they're seen as separate businesses on the account side. And so learned a lot there. And then that basically brought me to where I am now on the industrial side of the business. So this is more primarily B2B with the 3M industrial group. So now working primarily with our abrasives, industrial tapes and adhesives, and then we have personal safety sold more to industrial distributors. So that'll be more B2B. And then we have other end user accounts as well, but I'm in the industrial channel. So that'll be more distributors. And so that has been interesting in itself, selling now to the B2B side only, but then learning how they will sell to their end users, or they may even be selling B2B themselves. So that in itself, B2B to B, has been interesting to learn. And but then I've remained in the e-commerce space the whole time. So that I've been always passionate about, love talking about it, love helping those customers of ours grow digitally. And industrial is, I don't want to say catching up, but they are traditionally, industrial just has not needed to be digital. It's been traditional field sales. Just with the sales model they have, it's never needed to be digital. And now everything's moving that way. And obviously everything's moving digital. So everyone feels the need to move there and be competitive. If you want to remain competitive, you have to have a digital platform now. So being able to educate our channel partners and how to grow with digital and be competitive in the industrial space with their either businesses that they sell to or their end users has been a fun learning experience. I just wanted to continue learning and using my e-commerce knowledge and bringing that wherever I can. So that part has been fun. And a lot of that is internal growth as well, helping our internal teams learn more about e-commerce, what we need to be doing in the digital space, how we need to be adapting in order to grow if we want to continue growing and remain competitive. So I don't know, the need for knowledge and the challenge, I would say, is what keeps me going. And so I just was looking for that additional challenge, and that's what brought me over to industrial. I didn't know anything about those industrial products, but it's been just fascinating to learn about everything we make. And I mean, 3M's so large, and you're never like 10 feet away from a 3M product is what everybody says. So it's been cool to learn that. I mean, it's within your phone and, everywhere. It's just been fun. And to be on this side of the business now is even more interesting to me to be here and then working with our partners who sell the products and just learning something new every day.
That's fun. I've noticed recently my jacket has like the Thinsulate lining.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough. It's so many things that just, I mean, it's such an innovative company where one product or one solution within the product, how it's made, can innovate and turn into something else, or pieces of it turn into something else. It's just been cool to see how innovative people can be in the lab and how everything comes to be here.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stay knowledgeable? How do you stay up to date? It sounds like first just knowing everything going on in 3M in your spaces seems like a full-time job, but how do you stay on top of like technology and industrial supply and that kind of new information?
That's a good question. Well, at first, being in a digital role and being a small team that we have here, I am always joining any partnerships we have, making sure to get their newsletters, joining webinars anytime they have a chance, Industrial Supply Association, the B2B e-commerce association, any trainings that come up, reading the newsletters, staying in tune with the market trends in the industrial space. Cleveland Research is another great one to stay into what our channel partners are doing and where their growth is each quarter. So just getting the education there. I mean, I have a lot to learn still in the industrial space, so those have been helping where the largest growth sectors are. But then even within that, I learn a lot from our channel partners directly. So you may have one industry that's growing, but then we may have channel partners that don't sell in those industries. We may have one that sells only in one or specializes in two and not this one, or one that's very large and specializes in all of them, but has the largest growth in only one. So I would say even learning about all of those, I learn the most from our channel partners every day, just where they want to grow and why. And then within our each divisions, abrasives, safety, and then we have industrial adhesives, we have electrical. As they present their newest products each year, I'm in a lot of the meetings where they're presenting to our partners, learning about the products and what's important to them, what they're focusing on. Like data centers right now is huge as digital and privacy is growing. Just learning who's focusing on that and where electrical is growing and which channel partners of ours are focusing on that and which ones it's not a huge growth opportunity for. I just learn a lot from them, I would say, every day as I'm meeting with them and helping them grow. That's my role, is to help them grow on their e-commerce platforms. And so learning about our products at the same time, helping them expand their portfolio, but then learning internally from our division marketing teams, just being able to work with all those different teams internally. And then with our channel partners, I'm learning so much about our products and then how they're sold, I guess. But then getting the market research, I think, is what kind of ties it all together for me. So there's never a shortage of things to learn. But then within, I'd say, my own team, e-commerce, and then the sales team that I work with, learning from them. I mean, they have a lot more experience at 3M than I do as well. So I'm always asking questions, not afraid to ask questions about things I heard in a call, or why are you focusing on that? Or can I help here? Have they thought about expanding their portfolio to include these products? Or if they haven't, why? There's always good questions to be asking and learning that way, taking a lot of notes and then having AI summarize the notes.
Yeah, and there you go.
So I have notes all over the place.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mostly handwritten still.
Yeah.
So I think this leads me to a good question, which is, if you were talking to a person entering the workforce today, how would you recommend they do a good job at whatever this job is going to be, right? If they're going to be in this space of B2B e-commerce, what should they be thinking about? How should they be showing up to their jobs? It's not, because it doesn't sound like for you, it's a set of skills. It's a set of like behaviors and curiosity and continual learning, rather than like knowing how to do PowerPoint and Excel. So what would you recommend?
That's a good way to describe it, actually. I don't think it is in the day-to-day performance and how you present, how you capture your knowledge. That can be learned on the job. I definitely think it is a thirst for knowledge and being eager to learn, but then wanting to absorb as much knowledge as you can for the right reasons. I guess we have an internship program here, and we're looking for interns for our program for the summer. So I'm right in that space where we are looking for people who are wanting to work here for the summer and in the space with our team for e-commerce. So that was kind of fun to be able to see who's interested and why, what they have on their resume, and why. A lot of it is to have an interest in business overall, just operations and how business works, how sales works, marketing. A lot of it is you're touching all of those pieces of business: sales, marketing, production, manufacturing for us. But then how it all works together. I think having a knowledge of how a business works is one thing, but then e-commerce specifically, everything, knowing just where we are today and how everything is digital, and even just increasing with AI and becoming more automated, having an interest in how you can improve business, I guess. I am interested in moving toward automation in the best way we can. I mean, everything has been print and physical. A lot of our data still maybe doesn't live in a system of record, and we need it to, because it should be digital, and it isn't today. We're still trying to migrate everything to be digital so we can automate. And learning how that works is fun to me, and I guess that's something I would look for in someone else. Not just the digital world, but like with an eager to learn, an interest in learning. And then I would want someone who asks a lot of questions, I guess, because that shows their interest in learning. That's always been interesting to me, for someone who asks. It's not just a lot of questions, but questions that make me think differently, and they could even teach me something by the way they're asking. Like, that's a good question. I don't know why we haven't thought about it that way, or I don't know why we do it this way. I can learn a lot from someone new in that regard, and I'm excited to work with some of our interns because I feel like I could learn a lot from them and they could bring some new ideas. So someone who's very eager to learn, wants to work, I guess. A good work ethic is always part of it. But then, I mean, 3M's just such an interesting, fun company to work for. Feel very valued working here. So I just would want someone who gets a sense of that and gets excited to come to work and really wants the role, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you can sense that from someone right from the beginning, and sometimes, so
Yeah. And for other businesses, what are the things that 3M does to make you feel valued?
well, like I said before, they are very good at encouraging you to learn and grow within your career. So there's a lot of career resources, professional development. We have mentorship programs. You can be a mentor, but then they encourage you to be a mentor, mentee, I'm sorry, if you want to learn for your career. But then at the same time, they want you to be a mentee. If you're going to be a mentee, then you should be a mentor. So serving both, encourage others to learn. That would be one. But then constant professional development opportunities, networking groups, and then hiring within, I think is big. They're definitely proponents of promoting within, but then opening roles within to encourage people to move around. I've always felt that got me to where I am today. I mean, I don't think I would have. I've been here for 12 years, and a lot of people, and that's a testament to 3M that stayed at 3M for a very long time. And I think that's why very good at feeling valued and promoting within. And that's why people stay for a long time. And there's, never a shortage of interesting opportunities. You can find something else that's you never thought you would want to do, but you learned about it while you were here. And, I want to go and do that now. Work in the lab or work in supply chain and learn how we are stocking product and how that goes into it, or how we order our raw materials. Somebody could find something interesting, but you wouldn't even know that role existed until you got here. But then, very good at promoting within and then educating and leadership too. We've had some really great leaders.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I heard some number that I think 70% of the Fortune 500 companies have mentorship programs, and 100% of the Fortune 100 companies have mentorship programs.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
That's
super cool. It's definitely a differentiator. And
yes, wow, that is surprising, and that, I guess that makes me feel good that we do have one, and it's very good. I've been part of it before, and it can be time consuming, I think, to be part of some of those because everybody feels busy and there's a lot of work to be done, of course, in your role. But that's what 3M is great at, is encouraging that, stressing that that's important too, to continuously grow, continuously learn, and take time to focus on your career versus just work. So I think that's great.
Well, I think those are the questions I have. Do you have anything else on your mind? Anything else you're thinking about these days?
I don't think so. I was just going to say, do you have anything that the B2B e-commerce association is planning as far as for the rest of this year? Anything in the works that is exciting, of new topics they're exploring or anything like that? I'm always just kind of interested. I follow on the website and the articles you guys are putting out. I'm just interested to see what's coming up for the year, if you had anything.
Yeah. There's so much going on. Great question. So we're doing one focus, especially, I think for all of us this year is practitioner focused content that's longer form. So white papers and ebooks and resources and guides. Justin's working on two, I think, a physical book as well as an ebook that's going to come out this year. And then we have content around digital transformation this quarter, and product content next quarter, AI Q3, which should be very interesting, and customer adoption Q4. So really thinking about where we can have perspective and something to contribute to the conversation that has a global perspective and sort of this long-term perspective of where this, where the sort of whole ecosystem of B2B e-commerce is going. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really a fun differentiator. It's interesting to hear how B2B e-commerce is similar and different in different areas in the globe, which I'm sure you see as well. Mm-hmm. and also the different levels of digital maturity. Some companies are really
Yeah.
sort of leapfrogging much faster with AI and digital tools. Some are still really slow to adopt.
Mhm.
So it's just an interesting time. There's a lot of momentum and learning and growth happening.
Yep.
So
I find that
excited
exciting.
to
We work with a wide range of that as well, and I find that exciting. Anytime I can talk about e-commerce and help people grow in their digital maturity is so exciting to me. I get very passionate about it on calls, and I think people realize that because then they get excited about it and follow up, and then it leads to a lot of to dos afterwards. But that can be good.
Yeah, and I think the like you were talking about with Ask 3M, the understanding the use cases of where AI can do something sort of
Mhm.
exponentially better than a human could or a team of humans could is really interesting. So really
Mhm.
understanding a customer pain point and an organizational opportunity, which is that you have all of this
Mhm.
knowledge and data. And so
Yep.
figuring out how to combine those two, I think that gets very interesting. So it's less about like a website and a product page and add to cart button, and it's much more about like the
Yeah.
customer problems and the places you can solve them.
Right. I'm very excited to see that it's not even, I mean, I would say it is kind of a sales tool, but not even. We're really trying to help people find solutions and not even knowing if our they may not know our products exist that can help them with those solutions. Bonding, mostly that's where it's starting with adhesives and tapes, but I'm
Mhm.
sure it'll expand later after that for more 3M solutions. But and it'll probably expand beyond just that capability of 3M solutions alone. It'll be exciting to see where it goes.
That's very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out when it's
Mhm.
live. We'll have to share it with our community so people can have a look.
Yeah, we'll let you know for sure. We'll be able to test it out or send there is a website I can send afterwards to just with some info. I don't think there's like a demo or anything available yet, but um, so far we've just kind of said that this is what's coming and this is what it's for. But more coming soon.
Great. Yeah, I'll add that to the notes for this
Okay,
episode. That'll be
great.
great.
That's great. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Jen. I look forward to next time in person.
Yes, that would be great. Yes. Thanks, Sarah.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Manufacturers, distributors, leaders in the zone. If you're building B2B, this the podcast throne. The industry's heartbeat, we're setting the tone. Turn insights to actions, it's how empires are grown. We're talking change management, breaking resistance. Strategies so sharp, they redefine persistence. Customer adoption, it's more than retention. It's building a movement, commanding attention. It's the B2B e-commerce show, where the vision is clear and the strategies glow. From the top of the globe, we're the pros who know. Turn the volume up loud, it's time to grow. We bring news, big topics, insights to spark. From the boardroom's glow to the warehouse dark. Digital transformations, the path we're paving. Helping you lead through the change you're facing. This is more than a podcast, it's the industry's voice. Giving you the tools to make the right choice. No fluff, just facts, no hype, just action. The show where solutions are more than a fraction. It's the B2B e-commerce show, where the vision is clear and the strategies glow. From the top of the globe, we're the pros who know. Turn the volume up loud, it's time to grow.
This is your guide to the digital race. Practical advice, no time to waste. So tune in, gear up, and let's own the space. It's the B2B e-commerce show, the industry's best.